Welcome to PR Like a Boss, the podcast where we cut through the fluff and get real about what it takes to show up in the media, land those dream features, and turn your story into your superpower. I'm your host, Pats, and today my guest has been behind the glossiest of glossy pages, founded one of the first beauty and wellness digital platforms, and now she's helping people live well and age brilliantly, one beautifully curated piece of content at a time. Please welcome Susannah Taylor, editor, founder of Get the Gloss, wellness expert, podcast host, and all-round media maven. This is someone who's seen the industry evolve from print deadlines to TikTok trends, and today she's sharing her wisdom on how to stay relevant, credible, and visible through it all. So whether you're pitching to a journalist, launching a product, or figuring out how to not sound like every other brand out there, grab your SPF, take a seat, and maybe sip on a green juice. Susannah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
This is exciting. I'm so happy to have you here.
Well, thank you for the amazing introduction. I'm a bit buried in things today, so I don't sound quite as fabulous as the introduction, but thank you.
I don't believe that for a second. Susannah, your career has spanned magazines, digital platforms, content creation, and more. What role has PR played in shaping each phase of your career?
Well, I guess if I sort of go back to the beginning a bit, when I first started out in magazines in my early 20s, I'd been to St Martin's School of Art, and I came out and well, first of all, I did tons of work experience. And I remember being the person on the fashion desk at the Telegraph with Hilary Alexander. And I was having to just cold call PRs about things. So I very quickly learned communication skills with PRs, and also the value of PRs. There would be nothing to put on those pages if it wasn't for the PRs. And then after a small job on a magazine called Scene magazine, which then folded, I then went to Glamour and started building some really amazing relationships with PRs, and many of whom actually I'm still in touch with amazingly today, who are still in the industry, and they might have gone off and done their own thing. And they really helped me at Glamour, and then I went to Vogue as beauty and health editor. They really, really helped me, I guess, sort of define who I was in the magazine world. I've always sort of prided myself on finding things that no one else has seen before and sort of discovering the next trend. It's something that I love doing, and it comes quite naturally to me, is sort of spotting next big things. And my relationships with PRs really helped with that, because they would always sort of, give me, Suze, this is going to launch. You need to know about this. They give me tip-offs and things. And yeah, and I've had amazing relationships with PRs all through my career. And then when I went on to build Get the Gloss, PR was absolutely invaluable, both behind the scenes in creating the content, but also we worked with Monty PR in getting the actual brand out there, Get the Gloss. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've had, PRs have been an amazing help to me. And I've got many, many friends in the PR world as well.
Oh, I can imagine. When editing magazines, what makes a PR pitch stand out in your crowded inbox? Like, what catches your eye and gets open first?
Well, it's actually probably not the subject line, as everyone would think. Although obviously that's there, but it's the Dear Susannah. Mm-hmm. Because I'm afraid to say, if I get sent a blanket email, delete. Because I am someone that always prided myself on finding the latest thing, I want to know something that other people don't have. So it's really important to me that I just aren't just one of a million that something's been sent out to me. So if someone says, Dear Susannah, I immediately look at it. And if I just see, hi, girlfriend, or, there are different ways that people, hi, hun.
Hi, hun. Hi, lovely.
I know it's not for me. And I mean, because we get so many emails, there has to be some filter. And Dear Susannah is that filter for me. I will open it.
And then when you're reading through the pitch, what needs to really stand out to you?
I think it's really important to have a proper relationship with PRs. Call me old school, but I
Oh.
do
I
feel,
am from the school of old school.
yeah. And I really like the idea that someone has thought about what I do
Mm.
and that they have tailored something for me. I now have a newsletter called the Glow Gazette,
Mm-hmm.
which is all about holistic well-being. And if somebody mentions that they've read it or that they like it, or they don't have to like it, but that they know what I represent,
Mm.
then I will think, oh, this is great. This is a two-way thing rather than just promoting something at me. They care about what I'm doing and I'm trying to put something good out into the world. So if they care about that too, then I think, okay, we've got a bit of a synergy. I think in a world of so much information, someone that actually takes the time to care and write a carefully curated email that actually is tailored to me and is sort of well considered, I will really sit up and take notice.
So definitely do your research if you're a PR and you're pitching whatever it is that you're doing for each publication, each
Yeah,
contact to do their research.
definitely. And even, if a PR was to contact, not necessarily myself, but
Mm.
journalist, so I read your something recently and it really resonated with me. And I love the bit about to show the journalist or the influencer or whoever
Mm.
that you care and that you have, and that it's not just another person you're pitching hundreds of products to.
Mm. Yeah.
I
Uh,
really think in a world with so much noise, that one-on-one attention is a real cut through.
yeah. Do we think that's dwindling a little now compared to years behind us?
Yeah, I do, sadly. I mean, right at the beginning, it was literally, "Hi, Susanna. How are you doing?" I'm sure you remember those days too. "Should we go for a cup of tea? Should we have breakfast?" And obviously, we probably spent too much time having cups of tea and breakfast, but and everything's so fast now, there isn't as much time for all that.
Yeah.
But I do think relationships now, having a relationship with a PR is really important. I think we're losing that human touch, and that worries me. I
Why?
mean, my podcast that I launched last year is called Ways to Feel More Human. And I
Yeah.
think I feel passionately that we are not being human enough in every area of our lives. And I just think there's too much emailing, no one responding. I'm sure from your side, when you email people and they just don't respond, it's infuriating. It's just like sending things out into
The
an echo
abyss.
chamber. Yeah. And there's just too much flying around. We need to get back to relationships. And some of the best ideas and the best things that I've ever done in my career have been down to relationships and
Hmm.
in human experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do we think that it's not as human now as it was before? Do we have social media to blame for that?
I
I
think
mean,
social media and just so much tech,
mm,
so much tech. And I just think we're speeding up and up and up. And there's more tech. Let's do this faster, quicker, more of it. And I actually think we need to get back to, is that being effective?
mm,
Is that increasing whatever you're trying to sell or get out there? Is it being more productive or is it actually not? Is it being counterproductive? I think because people always say we need to be more productive
mm,
or we need to be busier. But I think we need to ask ourselves, why is it actually getting us places?
mm.
Maybe it's not.
Yeah. Now that you create your own digital content, how does your approach to storytelling and earned media differ from the more traditional media days?
Well, I mean, the more traditional, obviously, I started out in print,
Mm.
and um, that was a beautiful thing. But I mean, now I've had to adapt massively over my career because when I first started out, there was no internet. And then the internet arrived, and I worked at this magazine called Scene magazine, and the internet had arrived, but no one knew how to use it. It was a very bizarre time. And there was some clunky server, and everything took like 5 minutes to upload. Um, and so I've seen it evolve massively. And then I launched Get the Gloss. I mean, storytelling, seems to have got faster and faster. That people want, as you know, like quick hits. They've got shorter time spans. But I actually feel in this we've reached peak um, busyness, peak everything. It's so much. It's such a, and it's causing people are getting ill from it.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And so, personally, for me, what I wanted to do with my newsletter is to create something that actually made people slow down.
Mm.
And because that's generally the message that I want to get out there is that people need to stop and slow down and get back in touch with being more human. So my newsletter, the Glow Gazette, is all about how to navigate the world, the modern world. And it's written in actually a long form because I want it to almost like a bit of a breath of fresh air. And I've curated sort of visuals that I on purpose, I haven't put my newsletter on Substack because I didn't want to be one of millions of other people again on a platform. I
Mm.
wanted it to be on its own. I wanted it to be like a breather in your inbox. And also I wanted it to look, I'm very visual. So I've
Mm.
really wanted it to look the way that I wanted it to, so that also, you know, the feel of it comes across, the feel of calm and, peacefulness and holistic well-being. So I haven't put it on Substack because you can't really curate how you want it to
To look.
look. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Does that answer a question?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a different rhythm now, for sure.
In what way do you think that?
Like you said, everything just has to be quicker, faster, more of. Even when we talk about the fast beauty versus the slow beauty now, like taking that time to be, I guess, mindful in what you're choosing to do. So even from a skincare ritual, like I used to be one of those like 9-step, let's go,
Yeah.
more is better. But in most recent years, I started to suffer from dermatitis and I had to just stop everything and regroup and be very, very particular about what I was using. So until something happens, we're just on that hamster wheel, aren't we? We just keep on going with whatever it is, life in general, skincare routine, work, whatever it is. If you're in that hamster wheel, you don't stop until something stops you.
Mm. I mean, definitely. And from a well-being point of view, as as an editor, as human beings, we're in a bit of a terrible state because of all this. I mean, the word burnout never existed 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
We didn't
Now,
know what it was.
no, now everyone is suffering from burnout, and it's not just. Actually, I do want to write about it because it's not just a catchphrase. I've got friends who are properly suffering from burnout. Actually, can't get out of bed, and this is a real thing. We're going
Yeah.
too fast. Our brains are not designed to keep up with this modern pace of life. They literally can't. We have the same software we had way, way, way back eons ago. We can't upgrade our software like our computers.
Yeah. No, I agree. Especially with, social media and like the scrolling. And I do realize sometimes that I'm actually not reading things properly because I'm just skimming through. I need to move on to the next thing because I don't have enough time in the day. So I just skim through things, and then I'm starting to miss things.
Yeah.
And that's becoming like a common thread lately, which I know that I need to just stop. Just stop and take a moment.
Yeah.
Let it
We all
sink
do.
in. Yeah.
And nothing will go away.
Yeah.
Like my friend who was suffering from burnout, she posts a lot on Instagram mostly. And I was like, if you don't post for the whole of August, nobody's going to care. In fact, they might notice. And she didn't. And she was like, it's a bit of a revelation. You sort of think the world is watching your every step, but
But
actually
they're not.
they're not. Unless you're like, I don't know, the Beckhams. But even then, they can probably take off, a whole month.
Right? Oh, 100%.
Actually, you were asking about storytelling. I mean, thinking of that, Instagram for me has become a very big deal. I mean, I'm not on TikTok, I'll be honest. But Instagram I do love because I'm so visual. I mean, ever since I was younger, I'm also an artist on the side. But I have always been a very visual person. I've loved shoots and beautiful things. And I love the visual element of Instagram. Although I don't love the fact that it's an overload for everyone's senses. So again, I try and post things that are quite calming because I just think it's bombarding. The reels, the music, the this, the that. Plus,
It's a lot.
It's an extra job for everyone to do. It's
It is,
really
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. What do you believe beauty and wellness brands are still getting wrong about media and PR?
I think, again, there's like a lack of proper communication. There's that phrase that everyone uses, that we are connected, yet not connected, really. And I think that is a very important thing. I think between PRs and journalists or influencers, I think real relationships are really important. But then again, that's hard. It's hard because there's so much noise. How do you start a relationship with somebody? I'll be honest with you, some brands are very pushy. As somebody who's on the receiving end of brands approaching me about things, and that doesn't work with me. Being really pushy. I worked with a brand recently. I do quite a lot of events and talk at events and things like that. And I worked with a brand who was just very pushy and sort of missing out the care of the people on the panel in a bid to promote their brand. And I don't think that sat well with everyone.
Yeah.
So I get it's a tough market and people have got to, some brands have very aggressive marketing strategies, but I think sometimes you've got to be a bit careful about how you treat the influencers and journalists and then sometimes I've had people contact me and say, why haven't you used my thing? Why haven't you written about it? I mean, I can't write about everything. I always try and get back to people. I always do because I know a lot of small brand owners and I know how hard it is out there. So I always try and get back to people. I apologise to anyone that I haven't got back to right now. There might be people listening who are like, she didn't get back to me. But it is hard to use everything.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Do we think that pushiness from certain brands is because there is maybe a lack of training from the old school of PR? Or do we think it's maybe there's an influx of marketing experts that are coming through that don't necessarily understand how PR works because they're two different beasts?
Yeah, I think maybe both. Well, like we were saying earlier, that there's probably a lack of training due to a lack of time and, young people who come out of uni, whatever, and they're thrown into a job.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of sink or swim because it's so fast paced and so pressured. And I think that, yes, and probably bosses don't have the time to actually train people up, which is a real shame because that might be damaging the brand they represent. And I also think that, yes, people do have quite aggressive marketing strategies. And whether they have the budget to employ a marketing team or marketing person, or whether they are doing their own marketing, I think everyone's very aware that it's a very tough market out there, especially for beauty brands, it feels at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I was speaking to a PR, I think it was last year, and so I do consultancy for brands quite a lot. And I was speaking to a PR who I was going to help with the content for a brand. And then she suddenly dropped, she said, I'm not going to work with them. And I said, why? And she said, because it's such a tough market out there. They haven't got a big enough following. When you're launching now, you need to have either a big following or you need to have amazing contacts. I mean, this brand, it was an amazing idea, which I just thought was so upsetting. It's like, it's so hard for brands to get cut through in this busy, crazy, frenetic paced world.
Mm.
Um, She said, the brands she sees that have got the most cut through are brands with somebody famous at the helm or somebody
Yeah.
with huge following. And then other brands, that sounds really depressing though, doesn't it?
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, that kind of leads me nicely into my next question. For smaller or indie brands, how can they build media credibility without a giant PR budget or big agency support? How do they do it?
Well, I think that, well, first of all, it's down to the idea.
Yeah.
And a unique idea still, despite what, that PR was saying about, you've got to have X amount of followers. A unique idea is still a unique and brilliant idea. And if somebody contacts me about a product and it's a unique idea or it's genuinely brilliant, because I always think what makes a cult product, and it's normally quite unique, or it's something that also is an amazing quality. It doesn't have to be an expensive thing. It
Mm.
could be, well, like take 8-hour cream, for example. It's quality and it's quite unique. There's nothing quite like it.
Mm-hmm.
And a unique idea still, I think, will stand up against, the bombardment of everything around it in these days. But also, I think transparency in this
Yeah.
age of people not wanting to have the wool pulled over their eyes with anything. Whether
Well,
it's
yeah.
greenwashing or
Yeah.
I think people
Consumers are very savvy now. They do their homework. But at the same time, I do feel that there's an element of scaremongering out there as well. There's a little bit of both. You've got the greenwashing, the scaremongering, and it feels overwhelming in a way. We sometimes really don't know what choices we should be making because so-and-so is saying this is bad for you. Another person or expert is saying, actually, it's really not. It's safe. Like there's a lot of noise out there.
I think that happens all the time with everything, especially in the wellbeing world. One person will say, we should all be fasting.
Yeah.
Another person says, women shouldn't be fasting, especially
Yeah.
during the menopause. And people say we should be doing HIIT training. Other people say we should be doing weights. Other people say we should be doing LIST training, which is a slow version of training. There are so many opinions, and I think people have to learn to sort of trust their own opinion and realize that actually, I think at the end of the day, we're all totally different. So what works for you will be totally different for me. And I think that's important for people to remember, and also not take all these opinions too seriously. I have one friend who has listened to so many podcasts. She literally can't. She has so much wellness in her head now that her sort of wellness regime takes up half the day. And because there's so many podcasts, so much noise, we need to be able to take what we want from these things. But just thinking back to what your question was about the brands is, I think authenticity is very, very important in this day and age, and staying true to your brand, because I think that'll stand out.
Yeah.
Authenticity and also the story. I think it's really important because I think we're bombarded with, I feel, sort of superficiality
Yeah.
a lot. There's a lot of product that has no meaning behind it, or has copied another brand, or there's another Korean brand, or such a big thing, the Korean skincare. But actually, if there's a brand that has a proper story, that for me, that often really resonates. The reason why they started it, the journey to it, and that all builds a sense of something very unique to that brand that will stand
Well,
out.
well, let's talk about the word authenticity, because in beauty and wellness comms right now, it is it a buzzword or is it still a business essential?
I think it's a business essential. I think being authentic in this world of so much noise, so many filters in every
Yeah.
sense, is an essential part of, I think, essential part of everything. I think essential part of being a journalist, being a brand owner, being an influencer. For me, I mean, I look for authenticity in people and in the people I follow on social media. I'm not interested in people looking like an Instagram filter. I'm not interested in following people who create a ultra perfect vision of themselves, because I don't think that's real. So I just
Mm.
think keeping it real is I'm not saying you have to do warts and all, but I think
I mean, that's terrifying.
that people want to engage with the reality of things.
Yeah. As someone who bridges editorial, content creator, and founder perspectives, what's one thing each side should better understand about the others?
So I know a lot of people who've owned small brands,
Mm.
and it's hard getting their products out there. And I know a lot of brands who do it without any PR because it's expensive.
Mhm.
And I've got one friend in particular who's got beautiful brand and sends it out to people, and then they just never get back. So I would say to the influencer or the editorial person, please, please put yourself in their shoes. It's damned expensive sending out product when you've got a new brand.
Yeah.
Please get back to them and just say thank you.
Mhm.
And I'm trying it and it's gorgeous. Don't have to put it on your blog or your whatever. Just say thank you. Because just
Mm.
a small acknowledgement. Because knowing these brand owners, it doesn't sit well with them when they don't say thank you. Or,
Mhm.
a bit of politeness wouldn't go amiss sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but it's hard. Things get lost in inboxes, and some influencers obviously get sent hundreds of things.
Oh.
So it's hard. Editorial to brand owner, yet don't be too aggressive, like I was saying before, because it can put people off.
Mm.
And I think a proper email that looks like you've properly worded it and really thought about it is really important these days, rather than one that looks like it's been sent to 500 people.
Yeah. How do brands stay real without sounding repetitive, in your view?
I find it always really interesting to show sort of behind the scenes view of what's going on. Like I
Mm.
said, it doesn't have to be warts and all. You don't have to show everything. You don't have to show yourself, getting out of bed in the morning. Um, but I think people are really interested about the behind the scenes. There's somebody I follow on LinkedIn who often posts about her journey and also sort of where she's come from. She offers kind of good advice. It's good. She's now become very successful, so she's offering sort of good advice to people, and it feels it feels positive. So it's kind of
Mm.
reality in a positive way.
Mhm.
It feels very helpful. I think just staying true to yourself and your beliefs, and also embracing your uniqueness. I think in a
Mm.
world where we are, everyone's starting to slightly look the same, if I'm allowed to say that, but it's true. Um, you know, where people copy each other's Instagrams. I think the ones that stand out actually do their own thing
Mm.
and not be afraid to be unique and follow what makes you or your brand unique.
Yeah, no, I like that. Okay, now it's time for a rapid fire round.
Okay.
I'm going to read you a series of beauty PR pitch subject lines.
Yeah.
I know that's not what gets things open for you, but we're going to go with subject lines this time. And you have to say either pitch it, so if it would have caught your eye as an editor, or ditch it, so it's a hard no, and give us a quick why. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 1. The foundation that looks better at 5 p.m. than 9 a.m. Pitch it or ditch it?
I would say ditch it.
Really? Why?
Because personally, I don't like thick foundation because I always like to look real. I don't like to look like I've got an Instagram filter on my face, and that would say to me that I'm going to look caked in makeup. So
Right.
personally, I would say I don't want to look caked in makeup, and I would say ditch that. I'm not going to look at it.
Fine. Number 2. This £12 retinol just outsold a luxe brand. Pitch
I
it or
would
ditch
say
it?
pitch it.
Yeah?
I would say pitch it because everyone wants a cheaper dupe, and I think that sounds promising, especially if it said that there was a dermatologist behind it or something. That would make it even better.
Oh,
Yeah, if you had a
okay.
£12 version, dermatologist approved, I think that would make it even better.
Number 3. I tried the lip oil TikTok can't shut up about. Here's what happened.
I don't have TikTok. So
you're like,
I would say ditch it. But if you ask my daughter, I think she'd probably say pitch it.
oh, really?
Yeah. But also I think that does sound a little bit like it's trying to be one of those. I think people are savvy now about being lured in by these subject lines. I mean, there's some very big editorial brands that send things out all the time. And I think people are savvy about the subject line. And no, they're just trying to lure me in with the TikTok thing. And it's another of those. It's another lip oil. And to be honest with you, I just sort of, I'm looking for things that have a bit more meaning than that. So I'm not really that interested in that.
Fine, we're ditching that. How about peptides, plumpers, and puffiness? Your 3 p.m. Zoom face fixed.
I think I would like that. I would say pitch it. I think there's a lot in that subject line that would intrigue me. It sounds like a bit of a roundup, and I think it's got bang for its buck.
You'd open that up.
I'd open it up, yeah.
How about our SPF serum is basically a filter in a bottle?
I would say pitch it because whilst I was saying I don't like to look filtered, I do like to look glowy. So personally, that would resonate with me because I'm very fair, like SPF. So, and then the idea of a bit of a glow or something would probably draw me in.
What about why this indie brand is refusing to launch a moisturizer? Pitch it or ditch it?
I'd say pitch it. I think it sounds like it's got a bit more depth to it than sort of just a catchy line. I think it makes you think about what's wrong with my moisturizer. So what's wrong with moisturizer? Should I not be using it? So there's sort of an underlying question within it. Makes you think. It makes you think, which is a good thing.
Next one. The hair mist that made me cancel my blow dry.
Yes, I've got very wiry, frizzy hair. So if you're sending that to me, I will open it because it takes me ages to blow dry my hair. So it's something that would give me a quick blow dry. I'm in.
Love it.
Yeah.
How about, is slugging still a thing? Our derms say no.
I think ditch that.
Really?
I'm not. I feel that slugging is just a bit of one of those many, many TikTok trends.
Yeah.
And actually, I just don't think we need it in our lives. And so I'm really not that bothered about it.
And also, who wants an oily pillowcase?
Who wants an oily?
Come on now.
I think slugging's a bit. Yeah, we don't need more slugging ideas, and we just need to look after our skin well. And I think people are kind of seeing through that stuff. Yeah.
Next one. Beauty with boundaries. Our clean girl era is over.
I think pitch that. I'm not quite sure what it means, but I think it means something about. Does it mean something sexual, as in clean girl?
Well, you won't know until you open it
Well,
up.
exactly. So it's slightly. So I think you feel there's some deeper meaning to it. Beauty
Yeah.
with boundaries. Intriguing. A clean girl era, yes, and also it maybe makes me think that it's not just a beauty thing. So that it's more of personal well-being or something. So I would open that.
Love it.
I think people are also very aware that people are doing those by AI now as well. So anything that feels a little bit more thought out would actually intrigue me.
Get your attention.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you. If you could ban one overused beauty or wellness PR phrase forever, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, what would it be?
There's so many to choose from.
I think, oh God, I can think of a few, but they're not that exciting. Let's circle back on that. One of the most ridiculous ones that when I was at Get the Gloss, we had an MD who came in. She was very, very clever, and one of the ones she used, and I had to text my husband and say, "Have you ever heard of this before?" Was we came out of a meeting and she said, "Right, let's towel down and come back on this." And I was like,
Okay.
"What's towel down?" I think it means. I think to this day I'm still perplexed by it, but I think it was like you kind of like take the sweat off with your towel and then, come back fresh.
Okay.
That was one that always stuck with me.
That sounds quite stressful in the beginning. Why would you need to towel down?
Who knows? Maybe that one, but I don't hear many people use that. Well, I've never heard it again.
That's a very unique phrase. Yeah. Oh, Susannah, thank you so much. I mean, what an episode. You've given us the real talk behind the beauty PR curtain and such smart insight into how the industry is really evolving and has evolved these few years. Where can listeners find you?
So if you go to susannahtaylor.com, you can sign up to my newsletter, The Glow Gazette, which I'm sending out every couple of weeks. And it's all about, well, I said the strapline is skin, soul, and sanity. So it's like a breather in this crazy, fractured, frenetic world. So, and then my Instagram, SusannahTaylor_.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a joy.
Lastly,
I'd say, I think keep it real. I think at the end of the day, I think it applies to all areas of life right now. We have to go back to being real and, like my podcast, be more human. I think we're moving away from it, and I don't know where things are going to go if we move away too far.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And to my listeners, if you love this episode, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe your PR, your founder friend, or your group chat that's always hunting for a better way of living and a smarter strategy. And don't forget, if you're ready to elevate your PR game, check out my e-course, PR Like a Boss. It's packed with actionable tips to help you get noticed and stand out. The link is in the show notes. Join me next time for more conversations with my female powerhouses. Until then, keep pushing boundaries and PRing like a boss.